Hi friends, welcome back to my channel. It's your girl Diane and welcome back to Made Up. Today we are going to be trying on the collaboration with Revlon and with Revlon and the new Wonder Woman movie, the WW84, which I believe has been postponed a few times, if not just once, or more. I think the last time I read, the movie was coming out in October, but we'll see given everything that's going on. We just don't know, but the makeup collection was out a little while ago. My husband owns a comic book business and he got so excited when he saw like basically one of my loves with one of his loves. And so he like bought a few things from the collection. Although his logic, I mean, obviously this was the palette they came out with and there's definitely some looks that I have been trying out with this. So I've used this palette a couple times. It's not a first impressions. Any of these products are because I've just tried them out. But what he picked up was the palette, this lipstick here, this bullet lipstick, which is in 725 Love That Red. So that's like a wearable color, right? And then the other two things he picked up, which I was totally questioning as to why he would do this, but he said he wanted to do something, wanted me to do something funky and like out of the box. So he got me this color in this lippy here. Let's see, it's Warrior Glitter Lip Color, and it is in the shade 002. I believe that says Gear Up, but it's kind of rubbed off a little bit. So this is in Gear Up, and this is actually a Color Stay Glaze Stick. This is actually a Color Stay Glaze Stick in shade 875 Sapphire. It's a silky shimmer eyeshadow. So both of these colors I would not typically wear on an everyday basis. It's pretty loud. So the base is on right now. Everything's done except for my eyes, brows, and lips. So let's go ahead and get started. First, we're gonna start with the eyes. So hopefully this, I don't recall this having any fallout. Since my base is already done, let's pray that that was an accurate statement. So let's go ahead and get started. I am going to start with some eyeshadow primer. I'm using this Pretty Vulgar primer. I'm just gonna take a little bit here on my finger and get that on the eye. And the trick here with eyeshadow primers and hooded lids like mine is not to put that much on. A little goes a long way, and if you put too much, it'll end up in your little crease or fold, like where your line is basically. And then I'm a person who likes to cover the lid, like set it with some eyeshadow, like a very neutral eyeshadow. However, that being said, I want to stick to using this palette and they don't have a color like that. So basically this shadow here, that shadow there. If they were matte, that would be something that I would use all over the lid to kind of set that primer, but they are shimmer shades. So I am going to go in with this shade right into my crease. I'm just gonna go for it right here, this orangey shade called Truth. Right there, I'm gonna go in with the shade called Truth. It's been a minute since I used this palette, so I'm just gonna go really light. I really did a light dab there. I don't even know if you can see the pigment coming off. And this is the Scott Barnes brush, the 62 that I love. So I'm just gonna start in this outer V. I just wanted to remember what that shadow looked like. And then I'm going to drag it across this crease that I'm creating that I don't really have, but would like to have. So I'm using the lightest amount of color. I am definitely a believer in the, you can always add more, but you can never remove pigment. Well, you can, but you risk ruining the look, right? So I go in little tiny stages and then just keep building up unless I'm in a rush. And then I do something called slapdash makeup. So that's how it's looking right now. It is very pigmented, which I like. I'm using the slightest amount. I'm gonna go in on the other eye. We're gonna do the same thing. Start at the corner here, kind of giving myself this V, and then bring it across. So very pretty. I like that color a lot. Next, I'm gonna go in, that one is Wisdom. Really hitting it hard with these shade names. Truth and Wisdom, okay? We're gonna deepen up this corner, and when I say deep, I mean that is deep. Tons of pigment, totally like kind of, maybe it was too much, maybe I went too heavy. I didn't go too heavy, but I guess I could have been a little bit more gentle. I know I can kind of see it on camera a little bit coming across, but I feel that first shadow kind of disappeared when it hit a taste of wisdom. I cracked myself up. Enough joking, I really believe that went somewhere. But I like it. I like it so far. I like where it's going. You can't hate on a shadow having too much pigment. I mean, it is what it is, right? You gotta let it live. And I think that looks really nice on camera right now, so I'm happy with that. So next, there's only a few places I can go. This is a very loud palette. You guys know, even though I've done some bolder looks on my channel, it's not something I would wear every day. Every now and again, there's a pop of color. I do want to do something a little bit different with this because the palette calls for it. And so far, the shadows in this palette are very buttery, very cut off there. So I don't know where we got cut off, but I was talking about the shadows being just absolutely beautiful. There's barely any fallout. They're really pillowy type shadows and they blend beautifully. So really like all these colors, but I am gonna try to do something bold, which is not necessarily my comfort zone or my everyday look, but because the palette calls for it, that's what we're gonna do. So I'm gonna use this color right here, Legendary. And I mean, I don't know if you can see the pigment on that, but wow. So I guess I could have done a cut crease on here, but I didn't. And then now I'm gonna deepen. I'm gonna go in with Wisdom again. And then I'm going to take off any pigment that's left on this brush and still use this brush to soften the edges a little bit. Blend those two together because I'm not doing a cut crease or that harsh line. Next, we use this pencil brush and we are going to do an inner corner highlight here. It's going to be in the shade Unbeatable, which is this one right there. I'm gonna take a larger pencil brush and I'm gonna try, there's no shadow on this. I'm going to blend the two together a little bit and just like tap so that there isn't any harsh lines where the two shadows meet. Because of the shape of my eyes, you guys know I always say that I don't put shadow really on the bottom. And if I do, I stay to the outer third to maybe just right in the middle and kind of blend it out as it comes in. But I try to stay away from that as much as possible because I do feel like it closes the eye, especially a lot of the time what we're running down here is a darker pigment. I am going to just give it a try today because I want to use as many colors as possible. And I think it would be really fun to use this shade up here in Self-Control, this blue shade up here. I love this color. It's my favorite. And I'm gonna make my funny face and run this along this bottom portion of the eye, just in the, we're gonna start in the outer third and see what type of pigment we can get there. Okay, so on first application, it does look a bit muddy. It's not coming across in the same color here. I'm gonna pack more onto my brush and really kind of get in there. And keep in mind, we didn't put a primer down or anything that the shadow could stick to there on the bottom. So, you know, you're hoping that it'll stick to the concealer that I placed underneath there. So I'm gonna leave it at that. I am going to clean off this brush and use the same brush to kind of drag it in so that it comes in just to blend, but doesn't, just so that I don't have any harsh lines, but I'm not necessarily taking the color all the way to the inner corner of the eye. I'm just trying to blend that out. The second, helping with the second layer really helped. Applying that second coat of pigment on there really helps. So I'm gonna finish the other eye. All right, guys. So I'm gonna leave the color underneath like that. I will say that the inner corner highlight that we placed earlier in the shade Unbeatable is not really coming across now that I've had time to let it sit and everything. I want a stronger, this is such a strong eye. It needs a strong inner corner highlight in my opinion. So let's try using this shade up here in Compassion, this big pan up here. And we just cleaned off that pencil brush. Again, this is another very softly packed eyeshadow. It's the first shadow that we applied in the inner corner there. Looked shimmery in the pan, and then when I placed it on there, it was definitely more matte. And this new shade is more of a shimmer shade. So it's definitely standing out a little bit more than the other one did. Ali Glines likes to do this, but I like sometimes, not all the time, but in this one, it seems like it works. When it's too stark of a shade, like too much of a contrast, I don't think that works all that well, but right now that's okay. So we're gonna let that live. That's definitely better than it was before, but this side here, I'm gonna deepen this side. It looks like it's having a little trouble blending there. Just looked a little bit patchy. All right guys, so I'm gonna finish up with the eyes and then we'll move on to the lips. All right guys, so my brows are done. I put liner and mascara on. My travel bag has my eyelash curler and I don't have another one, so I didn't do it. And I put mascara on and I definitely do not like it. I have baby lashes anyway, so they never really stand out, but turns out I need that extra something. Like I can't just put on mascara without curling my lashes because you still can't see them. We have 2 more things to try, and to be honest, I did forget about this because to me my eyes are done. I did try this once and I will say I didn't like it that much. So I'm gonna swatch it for you guys so that you can see it. It goes on really nice, like a cream. You can see that, it's really pretty. Let me try adding it to maybe my bottom where this color lies. Let's take this brush here and see if I can't take it from my hand onto that bottom color and just kind of add some dimension to it. That actually worked, but I don't know that you can see it, but in person you definitely can see it compared to this eye. It just added some glitter. I actually like it that way. I hadn't used it that way before. I don't know if you can tell the difference on camera, but it just added some dimension, some glitter. It has some duochrome reflex in it. But what I didn't like about it on one of the looks that I tried, what happens is this. And this is a smudger, by the way, at the base. That didn't work well at all. It did work better right now with the brush, but I feel like it does move around. Maybe it will dry down, but I felt like it moved around the other time that I used it. Just so you can see what it's like when you take it with a brush and try to blend it. Let's do that. So to me, this is not a shadow that you can blend. Where it goes is where it goes. It lays. You can't do much blending or anything like that because the color that suspends the glitter will dissipate. It just disappears. The next thing we have is this here, and I'm just gonna put this on for you. It does not go with this look, and I know that. Or maybe it will, we'll see. It actually goes with that look. If you see this in person, it's purple on purple. On camera, I feel like it looks very vampy, almost a black. In person, that's not what it looks like. It does look like a very deep purple, a deep eggplant, and it's very pretty. It goes on as you would think like a liquid matte would go on, where it's very thin, it's very wet, but immediately you can feel it start to dry. Let's give this a few minutes to see if it actually remains tacky or if it goes fully matte. I want to say it doesn't really ever go fully matte. And unfortunately, I can't speak to whether or not this formula will rub off nicely, because typically with colors this deep, we would want to be careful as to how it would go throughout the day, like how it would wear. Right now, let's see, it's been about a minute, not very long. So there's still some pigment that's still coming through, as I would imagine, so it doesn't dry immediately, but it does start to feel like it's drying down to a full-on matte. So we're gonna try that red one on in a minute, and actually I think this color actually might go better with our eye look than that red. This is such an orangey, fiery red that I don't think it will go well with our eyeshadow, but we're gonna give that a go. So I'm not gonna use a lip liner with this. I'm just gonna put it on straight away and see how we do. Just a standard bullet lipstick, super cute packaging, love that. And this is typically more of an orangey fiery red that I'm used to. I do like more deep reds, but these are still pretty. Okay, so there is the color there. So I'm actually shocked. I feel like I would have expected a little bit more pigment, and probably on camera you can't tell. Red is red, right? But when you put it on, it does feel like I have to do a double pass. And with red lipstick, I don't feel that I normally have to do that. And that's not necessarily a bad thing, since this formula is very nice. I like it. It's not bad. It goes with this lipstick. Like, I can do a double pass. Sometimes if the red is too rich and I do a double pass, it'll end up getting cakey, or the pigment just won't look the same, if that makes any sense. And this one, I feel like I definitely had to do a double pass over, but it feels very moisturizing on the lips, and I like it. I like the feel. Definitely nothing bad about it. It's going to come off when you eat, when you touch it. It's one of those creamy bullet lipsticks, and I like that when I'm in the mood anyway. I like the way this is looking on camera as well. Anyway, this is the finished look. And what I will say about this is I definitely enjoy the formulas. I believe that they blend very nicely, with the exception of this deepest, darkest shade right here. I believe that one was Wisdom. Got a little muddy, as it sometimes can, as well as the Truth. But in this instance, the Truth, which is this color here, did not get muddy. I liked the pigment a lot on that. I've tried all the colors here. Obviously, I didn't get to try them on my lids today, but I have tried all the colors. And overall, I really like the formulas in this palette. I feel like some of them are different than others. With these shades, these lighter shimmer shades here, they're very, very soft. The darker shades here were a little bit different. I don't think, you know, every shadow on this was exactly the same. Of course, it wouldn't be. So the shimmer shades, the true shimmer, even though a lot of these have shimmer in them, the shimmer shades like these ones here, very softly packed, but everything blended together really, really well, and I can appreciate that. This isn't a color story I would normally buy for myself, just because I don't use too many of these colors. Do I use them once in a while for a pop of color? Absolutely, but on an everyday basis, I wouldn't. That being said, the formulas are nice. I like them. It's super cute packaging. I like all the packaging. This to me was the biggest bust. I don't really enjoy this. And maybe, I don't know the other shades, maybe it would help if I saw something with less glitter, how it performs, like actually the color underneath. Maybe something not so stark, but I didn't like this. So this one, I believe this is like a matte formula. So if you're into liquid mattes, this one will work for you. I feel like it was very pigmented. I'm not into the glitter in this. I feel like there were just fairly large glitter particles, and someone might really like that on their lips. I don't. But as far as the formula goes, and even the color, I could put on this color once in a while if it were a matte. I'm just not big on glitter on the lips. But if you like that kind of sort of thing, this could be for you. And then of course we have the standard Revlon bullet lipstick in the cute packaging. I definitely like this lipstick a lot. I like how creamy it is. Right now it's been about a few minutes and it's just creamy. It's gonna come off when you eat. It's not like a matte at all, but it's very... Did I have lipstick on my teeth? When were you gonna say something? Like, seriously? It's so creamy, it's gonna get on your teeth if you don't clean it out. Anyway, I like the way it feels on the lips, but that could definitely get some movement throughout the day, and a lot of the times I'm not necessarily comfortable with that. I do like a lipstick that dries down a little bit more, but that being said, this is super nourishing and hydrating, and if you're having a chapped lip situation, a dry lip situation, which I had earlier today, this feels really great on the skin, so I like it. As far as the collaboration goes, overall, love this collection. I probably just wish that maybe he would have got me some different colors in this, but I do appreciate him thinking about me when he saw this makeup collection at the store. So shout out to him, great husband. All right guys, so that is the finished look. Thank you so much for joining me today. Please like, subscribe, ring that bell so you can be notified of my upcoming videos, and I will see you next time. Bye.